You're listening to the Prime Culture Podcast. This Prime Culture is for the dreamers, the schemers, and the believers. We're here to introduce a whole new generation to the abundant life. We're here for the prime of our lives.
Bro, hey, welcome back. It's good to have the crew back in the room, man.
We've been gone for a minute.
We've been gone for a little minute, but we're back, baby. We're back. What's good? What's new? Tell me something good. Andrew, okay, this is mad weird. Leave it in the pod, though. Like, bro, where did we leave the thing? That's going to bug me. The little cover. Oh, it's right here, bro. I got it. Bro, look at me solving problems.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to ADD, fam. Bro, and I'm exhausted.
I didn't know you were going out of town.
Bro, it was a fast turnaround.
Yeah, it was just one day.
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Can we know?
Yeah, of course. So I sit on the board of directors of an incredible church in, this is like my big boy flex, of a great church in San Antonio. Shout out Pearl Street Church, which they're coming to CultureCon, baby.
Yay.
I just found out.
Let's go.
Yeah, so it was a in-person board meeting for some pretty big moves the church is making. So I had this beautiful honor of getting a chance to being part of the overseeing board, and
shout out.
Yeah, man. So officiated a wedding, did church on Sunday, officiated a wedding Sunday after 2 weddings on Sunday, bro. And then shout out to our boy, the redheaded Mexican Viking. Peli Gutierrez, he got married. Shout out, praise the Lord. El Señor Cristian Gutierrez Torres. And then flew out Monday morning, was in meetings till about 9 p.m. and went to the hotel. Woke up at 5:30, caught a plane at 6:35, landed at 7:15, went to the gym. Where were you? Oh,
I'm injured, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
You can do upper body.
So went to the gym because like for me it's like if I stop, I'm just gonna like and so it's like nah man I can't afford to.
When I stop working out, I start thinking strange things.
Yeah,
like, my
bro.
head's too big.
I think I think crumble cookie. That's what I think. Yeah, bro. Do you want to know the flavors?
Wow.
Of crumble cookie? I'll tell you right now. I keep it on my favorites. Did you know that?
Yes, we do. We've actually talked about it on this podcast.
I know, man. Leave me alone. Just indulge in my weirdness, man. But went to the gym, got a breakfast with the girls, and then came and jumped in meetings. Now we're here recording the pod. It's a beautiful day.
With the girls, he means the daughters, not this girl. I had to go to work.
They don't have good flavors this week. I'm not missing much.
Is there ever a time that you actually have it? Or you just...
Yeah, for sure. So like, look.
When do you have it? Like in secret? Like when I don't know?
Oh, no. Or like when I actually go get it? No, it's very rare.
Yeah, because I'm like,
it's very rare. But there are weeks where it's like, oh man, it's costing me something. Like I'm going to suffer well this week. Anytime there's like something like, it's like super, I love peanut butter. So anytime anything's like super peanut buttery, it's like, bro, I'm suffering well. I'm denying my flesh this week.
It's so funny.
But you know, you're going through that even though you don't have to.
Exactly. All by himself, solito. But it invigorates him and keeps him on a path. So yeah, I just celebrate that.
No, but that's absolutely true. What it does, like it fuels my, man, this is
consistency.
This is why I'm locked in. This is why I'm choosing this, because like if not, I'll go back to that.
This is why.
It's just all bad.
No.
You know? Can I ask you guys a weird question? Do you have a friend that shares too much?
Yes, you are that friend.
I would high five you right now.
The disrespect.
I was literally gonna say
I'm not lying.
I'm not lying either.
Bro, the disrespect.
You win 2-1.
Fam, first of all, I was gonna talk about something. Now we're gonna talk about honor. Is what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about honor. Dude, do I share too much for real?
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like a pain point for you.
No, it's not.
No, for me it is.
I'm not married to you.
There's something
because I get talked about over the pulpit, and I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen, And when you were younger,
what's the cringiest thing I've ever said about you at the pulpit?
No,
you said many things.
You said
Papa.
But when you were younger, it was worse because I didn't know what was going to be said.
Andrew's
now,
nodding his
you are more mature.
What are you talking about, Andrew Funk?
And at least you'll tell me beforehand.
I'm about to pull you on camera, bro. What are you talking about back there?
Now you at least give me like, hey, I might say this, and I'm like prepared for it. Before you would even say things that I didn't even know about you, and we had to have a conversation. Like, do not say things that I don't know over the pulpit because that's embarrassing and it hurts my feelings.
But why is that embarrassing?
Well, because I don't know that about you, and you just told everybody, and I don't know.
But it's for the gospel.
Wow. We're done.
Well, our argument over. Yeah.
I shouldn't be here.
I should end every argument with, it's for the gospel.
It's for the kingdom. For the glory. I must decrease so he can increase.
Wow.
That's absolutely irrelevant. That has nothing to do with it.
But yes, you're the friend.
Bro, I'm that friend. Okay, now you talk.
Well, I don't think, what I mean oversharing is
I didn't realize this was going to become an intervention. Jeez. I'm going to go to therapy.
Well, I don't know. The way that I say it is like Cruz loves to see the line and then he loves to like get on the line and be like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Crosses a line.
That you're like, oh, is that weird? Oh, never mind. That's you. Yeah.
I enjoy. I do enjoy. Go ahead.
But you do it in the right context, though.
Yes.
I mean, I don't experience what Diana experiences on the pulpit.
Trauma.
But like sometimes you'll be extra funny in the right context, you know? It's not inappropriate.
The girls, our daughters, Chloe and Bailey, have asked me, please ask us for permission if you're going to use something.
On a message?
In a message. Because they get like completely mortified at times.
They do. They're little girls.
And yeah, I do my best, but sometimes it's spontaneous. So if you could see the amount of things that I want to say and I don't say them because I haven't gotten clearance from the sensory committee over here. But then there are times, okay, so like that, I get that. Every once in a while, I think sometimes I'm a loose cannon with that sometimes. I understand. But then there are times where I push the envelope because I love a couple things. I love to see people's reactions because most of the time, 99.9% of people in their snap judgment are going to show you who they really are.
Right.
They're going to show you, and I do leverage a little bit of shock so I can get glimpses. Like that's true. Like I mean, you guys know that about me. Like I'll just shock someone or I'll put them in. That was Siri.
Siri said.
But Siri is like, bro, you talk too much. You know, like, so I do that once in a while. I'll leverage it just to that, or I think sometimes it'll push people beyond their thresholds of their normal thinking or their natural thinking in certain sparks that are really, really valuable come out, you know?
And I think it's also like a way of stepping into like more vulnerable relationship. At least you've done that with me.
Sure.
Like in our relationship, you've been like, you've gone to spaces like, oh, we're talking about this. Okay. Does that make sense? But then on the other side of that, there's like good relationship, good, I guess, bond that happens. So to me, yeah, you've used it for good. At least for me, I'm like, I can't believe we're talking about this, but let's talk about this.
You know, but I think there's a real conversation to be had here, right? Because we're talking young adults, we're talking 20, 30-year-olds, and a big word, right, generationally right now is vulnerability and authenticity, right? But sometimes in the name of authenticity, they're like now. I will say this: none of y'all get to live in my head, right? And you don't get to, praise God. But there are times where, in the moment, I'm like, should I have said that? For real, I really do feel that way sometimes. Where it's just
I
like,
can see it.
or I'll like afterwards, like between services or whatever, I'll text her like, hey, was that too much? Was that weird? Did the church cringe? You know, most of the time they don't. Sometimes, most of the time, the church will appreciate and they'll say, man, like, thank you for showing us your humanity.
I think it happened more when you were a younger communicator.
Yeah, I had no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't have better sense. But I think in the name of authenticity, I kind of really do want to talk about that for a few minutes. Is how do we measure it, right? Like how do we help young cobras? You've heard me say this before, right? Use this analogy before. Like how do we help young cobras manage their venom, right? Now I'm not calling authenticity venom, but for the sake of the conversation, here's what I mean. I think sometimes a young cobra is a great analogy for an emerging leader or someone who's not all the way grown, mature wisdom, but they're not a child and they're not juvenile anymore, right? And so you're learning to gauge the degree of intimacy, the degree of vulnerability, the degree of transparency. And sometimes what happens is in an inability of or a lack of development, you don't know your thresholds, you don't know your gauges, you can't read the room, there's a lack of tact, right? You become a young cobra and you end up dying. What I mean by that is like, I use this typically in like leadership terms, but in the wild, venomous snakes have a real high mortality rate when they're really young, because the way they kill their prey is using their venom. But when they're young, they don't know how to regulate their venom well. So they'll attack prey and they'll use all of their venom. They'll empty their glands and they'll eat in that moment, but their glands don't reproduce the venom within the time frame that they'll need to eat again, and they'll starve to death.
Interesting.
Right? And I think the transferable principle, I think the philosophy is this, where sometimes when we're trying to feed something in us using authenticity, trying to feed something in us using vulnerability, and we end up using it as currency, right? Which I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. But sometimes we're disproportionate in the currency that we invest and that we give, and we'll say, man, I'm going to eat right now, so I'm eating intimacy right now, or I'm eating some sort of cohesion or some sort of relational, interpersonal, just, man, I feel safe, I feel security, I feel like, man, we've bonded, but I said too much, and the next time that relationship specifically needs to be fed something, I've got nothing left to feed it. So the relationship begins to starve.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So I think the question becomes, how do we gauge, right? Like, how do we answer that question? Like, in terms of authenticity is a good thing. Transparency is a good thing. Honesty is a good thing. But how do I reconcile that with answering the question, man, should I say this? Does that make sense?
I think a big thing is self-awareness. Knowing where you are in that state of vulnerability and not being too thirsty or too hungry to pour it out. Talking about maybe girl relationships, right? Like, you want to be around your girls, but if you're the girl that's always taking up the conversation and you're always bleeding on everybody, you're not going to be invited anymore. And then you're going to be freaking out like, nobody loves me, nobody wants to be around me. But I think having self-awareness of like, okay, if we're all sharing this, I need to figure out how much I can share. Because the last time when I said too much, like, I wasn't invited to the next one. So I think starting with self-awareness and the state of mind that you're in, to be able to share and not overpower, so you get invited again.
That's a great point. I wonder if awareness at large is a really fundamental key to navigating this dynamic well, because not just self-awareness, because self-awareness is great, but sometimes you can have really good self-awareness but not have good situational awareness.
Right, awareness of the room.
And it's like, hey, bro, we're playing pickleball, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
it's my turn. It's my turn.
Like, I appreciate, like, cool, thanks for trusting me with that, but like, you need to serve. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we're working out, bro. Like, I remember a couple years ago, I was working out at an incredible gym on the east side, and I had to stop because it was like the church lobby, and inevitably, at least 3 or 4 workout sessions a week, it would just extend, because it was just like, hey, Pastor, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but can I ask you a question?
And that's the thing. People think that their questions are like a 5-minute answer, and they're never 5-minute answers.
Okay, can we talk about that for a second?
I'm like, they'll tell me, like, pull me aside. It'll take 2 minutes. And then like, you start unpacking.
It's like,
and
2
I'm
minutes?
like, this is a whole 2-hour conversation that we need to schedule time. And it's traumatizing right now.
Look, and I'm not like responding to this from a place of minimizing people's needs, but situational awareness, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's like, okay, 2 minutes. Okay, I'll say it like, is this like a real 2 minutes?
No, that's what I've said.
Or are
too.
you saying? I've told people this.
Yeah.
Or are you saying 2 minutes just to get me, but you're going to bamboozle me, and it's going to be like an hour and a half later because I want to give you my uninterrupted attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Or what scares me is that they really think it's 2 minutes, and it's a whole trauma. I'm like, you think this is 2 minutes, and that concerns me even more.
Sure.
Like, what's going on with you?
Is this like human 2 minutes, or is it like a day is 1,000 years 2 minutes?
I think on the vine of like, or on the thought of self-awareness, I think it's important to like be aware of the motives of why you're kind of like having this pattern of vulnerability. What I mean is like, sometimes we use vulnerability as human beings as a social tactic that we do to create bonds, to get what we need. And some of us might be actually using vulnerability in the wrong context, like you said, but also we might be using it with the wrong motives. So like maybe all you need is somebody to tell you that you're doing a good job, but rather because you don't have somebody telling you that, you just go and start oversharing.
Right.
Or you start
That's good.
kind of like putting this on the table. Hopefully somebody will come and tell me what I want to hear.
Right.
So I do think the right motives for vulnerability are important because you can misuse vulnerability, and instead of feeding you, it could leave you like more empty.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, at least for me, I've never been like an oversharer. But I've always been a person next to the oversharer. Not particularly right here.
This is so disrespectful today, dude. Like, there's a spirit of it. I don't know what's going on, man. I'm just...
Bro, I don't know why I said in that order, but it was funny to me. No, but what I mean is, like, I've experienced people needing something. You can see it on their face. You can see it you can hear it on the tone of their voice, that they're in need of something, but then they're getting it the only way they know how, which is like, let me put it all on the table and see what y'all think. Maybe I can get what I want. Mm-hmm. So to me, it's just important to have like pure motives when it comes to vulnerability. Vulnerability and authenticity is like such a beautiful tool in the context of community, in the context of a spouse, in the context of the right person in your life. But man, it could just turn, I mean, to me, wrong vulnerability or misused vulnerability is what actually kills relationships in my opinion.
I agree.
Like there's so many of y'all that have had 12 best friends in the last year.
In the last 12 days.
Right.
And the reason, and this is no shot at anybody, but the reason why is because you shared too much too early. Mm-hmm. That's probably what happened. Yeah. And now they know too much, and then they're not the person that you thought they were, and now they're using it against you, and that's how blackmail, all this stuff kind of bleeds into relationships.
Gossip, strife, judgment, like absolutely. It all comes from inappropriately sharing something before it's time.
Time.
I think it's a song. The book of Song of Solomon says, "Don't awaken love before it's time." The term love there is not just Greek would be agape, right? But it's eros, right? Mm-hmm. Which typically eros is like the sensual love, but it's don't awaken emotions before their time. Some emotions.
That's a word. That's a word for somebody right now.
Some emotions need to be dormant. Yeah. You need to walk the path a little bit. And I think I'm getting ahead of myself. While you guys were talking, I think what you shared is really, really brilliant. I think motivation is such a big deal because I think we all agree the act and the engagement of authenticity, intimacy, transparency, vulnerability is necessary and it's life-giving, right? But the method in which it's applied can be hurtful, right?
Would you say, sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
But now I want to, this is making me think, like, isn't vulnerability when both parties are equally a part of it? And then it's actually something else when it's only coming from one side, and then the other side's kind of like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah, well,
we're playing golf.
I agree with you because it could be also a form of manipulation.
Exactly, because that's what I would call it. I wouldn't call it vulnerability when you're misusing, like I guess personal information as like, "Oh, I'm being vulnerable with you." Like, no, you're.
So we've heard as we've pastored both. In the young adult space as well as in the main rooms, we've actually heard these scenarios where new relationships and new friendships are being built, right? And there's a person in on one side of the relationship that's saying, "Hey, I want to know you. You share everything with me. Like be just be transparent with me. But the person transparent, but they won't reciprocate. Right? Like that to me right there, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Right? If someone flat out at the inception of the relationship is, hey, let's tell each other everything. Hey, tell me, like, I want to be there for you. I want to be all in with you. And it's like, like the second time or the third time we're hanging or whatever. And it's not just the context of like romantic relationship, right? Like this is platonic and social friendships, etc. I think there's this disproportionate thing, right? I go back to, as we're thinking about this, I go back to the book of Amos 3:3. Now, it's speaking in the context of marriages, but I think you can apply it to any type of relational dynamic. It says, how can two people walk together unless they've agreed?
Yeah.
Right? Unless they've set an understanding. We cannot walk together. And New Testament would say, don't be unequally yoked.
Right.
Right? And so being unequally yoked is like, don't, and it's fundamental. Paul is teaching, don't give your life and don't do your life and don't attach your life with unbelievers. But I think there's a trickle down as well and a drill down on an unbeliever, right? Like someone who doesn't have the same value set as you do, someone who doesn't apply or understand the same way you do. And I think what happens a lot of times, Felipe, is I think what we do most of the time, in most cases, most people aren't emotionally abusive and they're not manipulative. But what we do is we're not well informed either. And so we'll go into relationships and we'll have these shared assumptions. And we'll just say, oh my gosh, that's a really nice person.
Right.
Oh, they really love the Lord. They really love the Lord. Yeah. Oh my God, and it's like, oh, you know what? They must be a safe place. And all that is an assumption, right? And so now I've got this assumption until I find out that my assumption is wrong, right? Versus establishing, hey, let's set some agreed upon values. Yeah. Like, hey, tell me how you approach this, and talk to me about how you and the truth is, like for me, I'm very, very. I mean, you guys have been around me. Yes, I'm a loose cannon with certain things, but there are some things like in my private, personal, where I'm very careful. Right, I'm very careful. I don't think I'm guarded anymore. I used to be very, very unavailable, but now I'm just cautious. Right, like I do my best to guard my heart diligently, and what I do rather than using real life data to gauge the person, I ask questions.
Yeah.
Right, like, hey, talk to me about a time, or talk to like, hey, what do you think? Like, what's your take on this?
So I think that's a good point, but I think that young adults aren't very well informed on how much thought it takes to actually create any type of relationship, period.
That's a word.
So you're so hungry and thirsty for something that you'll talk to anything or anyone that'll listen. So I think in this context where you're wanting vulnerability and authenticity, you have to make sure you turn your brain on. Turn on your brain. And make sure you're walking into this type of vulnerability, authenticity with thought process. Okay,
so I think we're saying a lot. This is a dope conversation. By the way.
My brain wants to go in so many directions.
Yeah. So like I want to get into some handles though, right? Because like you said, don't check your brain, right? Have your brain engaged. I want to know what that looks like, right? You said have the right motivation or be aware of the wrong motivation. I want to know what that looks like. Who wants to start talking about it first?
You also said before it's time.
Yeah.
It's sharing.
Yeah, don't awaken it before it's time.
Don't awaken. To me, that's a word.
Yeah.
It's like, my goodness, you could be saving so many people's relationships right now with that.
Well, I just think in relationships, period, we're so hungry to have anybody hear us out that we walk into rooms and we transfer our emotions to people without thinking about that person.
Okay, let's start there because I think that is a marker of a digitally native generation.
Yeah.
Like the last 3 generations for sure. Millennial, Z, Alpha. Right? For sure are all digital natives.
Yes.
All live digital. And Z and Alpha for sure connect interpersonal relationship building to digital stuff, right? Like likes, followers, DMs. And so the thing with having omnipotence and omnipresence, having omniscience and omnipresence, right? I heard my friend Will Chung, shout out Will Chung. I don't know that he listens to this. One day he's gonna meet the culture.
Know us. I want to meet Will Chung.
I love Will. He's
I want to ask him
incredible.
his skin routine.
He's Korean, has the best skin. He's brilliant. Leads a beautiful church called the Beloved in Orange County. But he made this statement one time, and he said, our phones are killing us because they're giving us the capacity to be God, right? Like you have an omniscience. You were never built to know everything at all times. But your phone gives you a semblance of omniscience.
I think that's the point. So because they think they have everything, right, at all times, they don't know how to be curious. There's no formation of questions.
Not just
because you already come in assuming that this is who you are.
This is a good word. Okay.
And now there's no curiosity. So how can I ask questions?
So there's got to be a curiosity. I need to wonder about the person.
Yes.
Right? And then there's no caution.
Yes.
Right? Because everything is instant, right? And everything is just these snapshots. I see a reel, I see a photo, I see my feed, and it just looks good immediately. And then there's no patience, right? There's no waiting. Sure. Everything is now.
Yes.
Right? What were we watching? We were watching oh my gosh. It was it was when that thing happened, like on Friday or whenever it was. The person who was that died on I-10, right? Sunday. It was like all over the news. Someone got tased, and they were fighting the police here in El Paso. Which, like, that's crazy for El Paso for that to happen, right?
So what happened?
We don't know the full details.
Okay, you don't have to tell me the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember like looking it on my phone, and I just thought, man, I shouldn't be able to know these things. Right, like when everything's happening in Kerrville, which be in prayer for Kerrville, right? And you're watching real time people's homes being driven away and all of that. It's like I just felt in my soul, like I was like, man, like
we're not meant to carry that.
I'm not meant to know this. I'm not there. I think there's a connection to that, and I'm not trying to make it like overly heavy on this conversation, but like the knowledge of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, the tree of knowledge. Period. I think there's a reason why the Lord said, "Hey, if you're gonna have knowledge, go to me."
Yes.
Right. Like let me be your curator of knowledge, and let me be your curator of information. Yeah. And I think there are times that, like, obviously where the Lord interacts, like, wait, who told you that? Why do you know that? You shouldn't know that. And as parents, when we interact with our kids, right, they're like our little one, man, she feels heavy and she feels deep, man. She's intense, dude. So intense. And she's 10.
But she's been feeling like that since like 7, 8.
And it's like, how do you know to feel this intensely? Like, why are you judging yourself so harshly? Yeah. I have no,
The second-born.
No, the second-born.
That's the same for
100%, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, so like, I think there's a thing where, oh my gosh, like we've learned to not have a filter.
Yeah.
The preacher in me wants to play with, like, we got filters on the image, but we don't have filter on the information. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And we don't know how to have conversations. And I do think we crave the real thing. Right. And I think we're going too far into the part where we're just sharing everything with no filter, and we're calling it real just because it's true.
Right.
And to be honest, one of my biggest pet peeves is when people are very negative and then they say they're being real. It's like there's a difference between being real and having a negative disposition to what you're saying.
Right.
So I do think we have, if I could just label it, I think we're having vulnerability without understanding.
Yeah.
And I think what's happening is we're having like boundless, right, conversations.
Yeah, that's a great way to say there's no limits.
There's no limits to what we can talk about, what we shouldn't talk about, what's time to talk about, what's not time to talk about, what's the proper setting to talk about, what's not the proper setting to talk about. And then we're hurting each other with information.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's what's happening.
Yeah.
That's
like I should have, that thing that happened to you when you were 9 years old, like I met you last week.
Yeah.
I shouldn't know that.
I should have known that.
If I'm not your counselor,
how do you know I'm trustworthy? How do you? It doesn't mean that that's not a truth that should be shared eventually.
Right.
But I could be hurting you with that information, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Or eventually you'll hurt me with that information.
Exactly.
And I don't know enough about you. That's brilliant, man.
So to me, boundless conversations is what we're calling vulnerability or authenticity or real, because we see it all over social media. We need more organic content. We need more organic, real content.
Yeah. But they don't talk about how organic content takes time. Things take time to develop, and things take time to curate, you know, but we want everything now. So
I want it GMO, not organic.
Right.
That's very good.
But to me, I guess when we were talking about like self-awareness, I think it's important to understand that side. Is like, what am I doing here? I actually have a lot of power with how much information I have. And we live in a world that just absolutely is flooded with information. And I don't think we actually are aware that we can be hurting each other, misusing, manipulating, and not having actual authentic community or vulnerability or whatever you want to call it.
Because it's not authentic. Authentic is I love what you brought up. So okay, remind me of what you said. Because I went into like cautious and careful.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Having curiosity to be able to ask questions, to be able to actually have a conversation and not just a dump session.
Yeah, that's very good. And I think there's great power in that, right? Having curiosity before I have this gratification of, man, I was able to just release this, right? Asking the question, that's fantastic. I think what you were just saying right now, Felipe, between raw and real, it's never occurred to me until I heard you talking about it right now that there's a stark difference between raw and real and authentic, right? Authenticity comes with intention, right?
Word.
Like you think about just the thought of authenticated. Right? Something authenticated means like I'm verifying this data. Yeah. I'm verifying where it's go. Exactly. You know, and there's a safety and there's a process
when it comes to authentication in any form.
100%. Right. And so like when something's authenticated, like, so you think of documentation, right? Like when you authenticate a contract, you execute a contract, there's two signatures. There's the parties are in agreement. There's a whole set of, it's called an MOU. It's a memorandum of understanding. We understand how we're going to deal with each other. We both agree to it. Cool. Now we have authentic relationship.
I mean, you even have a process to authenticate a bag.
And sneakers, right? This is real, right? Like, 100%, right? You legit check it,
right?
I'm verifying that this is real. This is not a knockoff. It's not a dupe. All of that. I know dupes because my girls are like always looking out. They're like super into like skincare and Sol de Janeiro, which is crazy. It's hilarious to me, right? And they're just like, Dad, that's a dupe. We were at Five Below.
I know,
today.
it's so annoying.
I took them to Five Below today. They're like, Dad, that's a dupe. Don't buy that. But what are they doing? They've authenticated, right? But I think when someone says this is raw and this is real, and all it is a dump of unfiltered data, track with me on this. Like raw and real should be seen as a liability, right? Because if it's like, hey, this is raw me. Why are you giving me something raw, dude? Like if I eat something raw, I'm like typically I'm gonna die. It's gonna make me sick.
Yeah, it's good,
right? Or if this is real, bro, you should that scares me. That this is the real you. Yeah. Like, why are you saying this? I'm just being real with you. Like, that's scary, bro. Yeah. And I think sometimes we have to be really, really careful with the words we use. I'm very sensitive to it because I was in a room with a couple of lawyers yesterday. And one of them was hilarious, right? And he said, Cruz, like, we were just like chit-chatting. And he said, Cruz, people are so funny with the statements they use, like, hey, how'd you sleep? I slept like a baby. And he goes, oh my gosh, like with a diaper and poop up your back? Man, I'm so sorry. You must be miserable, right? And I go, oh my God, I've never thought about that kind of language, And I think there's got to be a real understanding of like, what are you really saying when you say this is real, right? Because what it is, it's when you say it's real, it's unintentional is what it is. Oh, I'm just having a real moment. No, you're having an accident right now.
Yeah, that's
good. You're accidentally sharing too much.
Yeah.
And it's like, well,
it's
I'm just
traumatizing.
Real. No, for real. Right? And I think
accidents are traumatizing.
Well, accidents are real too. Like the wrong things are real
Absolutely,
too.
Absolutely, man.
Just because something's real doesn't mean it's right. And I think that's the thing is like, I know your negative emotions towards this thing are real because you feel them.
Right.
Don't mean it's right though.
That's right.
And I think we're just taking everything that's real as right.
It's right, but it's not right.
So we validate rather than authenticate things.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
be like, is that really what I should be listening to? Is really the kind of conversation I should be engaging in?
Should I really be saying this?
Should I really be saying this right now?
Yeah. That's awesome. This is a great conversation. I want to give it some real this is how, right? So let's talk about, I'm still stuck on motivation, right? I think the motivation of real and raw really is I just feel like I need to vent somewhere. I need to vomit somewhere. Hey, you know what you should do? You should do what the Bible says. So let's speak to that motivation, right? So if the motivation is I've got to get this out of me, I wonder if rather than just I'm just going to vomit with whoever's willing to sit and listen, I wonder if you do what the epistle of Peter says: cast your cares upon him, for he cares for you. There's an authenticated relationship.
That's good.
He cares for you, right? So it's like, hey, bro, try Jesus.
Yeah.
Because I can't handle that. You know? Hey, is it rude to tell someone that though? Like when they're talking and you just go, ba 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 ba. You know,
it is rude to put your finger in someone else's mouth.
Okay, don't touch them.
That's
Don't invade
COVID.
personal space. But like for real though,
that's COVID? You said
Too many terms.
But is that rude to just stop someone and say, hey, listen, I appreciate that you would be willing to share that with me. But I don't think that's something I should be. I
think that's like so appropriate. I personally have learned that from you. Yep. It's like I don't think we should be having this conversation right now. Not that I was having a wrong conversation with you, but we were about to begin about talking to something that we probably shouldn't be talking about that either because the person's not in the room or we don't know that information. We're just this conversation is gonna be all assumption.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that you've corrected me on the most is like, this is all assumption. You're assuming all this information. This is not helpful.
And I've done
Go
that.
have this conversation first and then we'll talk about it afterwards.
I've done that too with people that want like certain counseling. If it's out of my pay grade, I'm like, you need to go to professional counseling. And I am not against saying that. We all have limitations. And I think we should be okay with putting that boundary on ourselves.
Wow. Yeah, I think, if I'm looking at motivation, because for some reason that's just really something that like has like, it hooked me when you said it. In terms of having relationship as believers, right? It should be a safe place. There is principle of confession, right? James 5:16. Right, confess your sins, your problems, your sicknesses one to another, and so that you can be healed. Right, which one to another shows reciprocity. Right, one to another shows some sort of authentic relationship. And the goal is, bless the Lord. I love his word, right? The goal is so you can be healed, not so you can be like, I feel better. Okay, thanks for that. I just needed to get that off my chest.
To me, confession basically puts boundaries on the information.
Bro.
I'm submitting this information for your consideration.
Can I say it?
You can speak into it.
Right. In order for me to get action
can I say
be healed.
Yeah.
So I can be healed and not just heard?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
that's it.
I just gotta get it out of me.
I mean, that's the point.
I want to be healed, not just heard.
Point.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
And you know what's funny though is like I've seen actually posts online that says like we don't want you to tell us what to do. I just want to be heard. And I think that is literally what we're talking about is it's boundless conversation. You want to just because it feels so good to talk about how you feel though. Like let's just talk about it for a second. It feels so good to vent. It feels so good to talk unfiltered and with lack of boundaries because you feel justified. You feel like you're getting the justice that you want as you're saying it. You're getting that feel of like, I don't know, whatever. That's why we shouldn't because it feels so good. It's so hard not to do it. But to me, at least being personally in those situations, it's just hurtful. Sometimes one of the things that I tell anyone that I get to speak into is like, you can't, once something comes out of your mouth,
can't take that
back. You can't actually take it back. You can't be like,
it's out there. Yeah.
It's out there and it's going to create what it will create. So I think it's very important to understand that venting is a source of motivation. You want the release or you want the validation or you want to feel heard. But that's not what we're after in authentic community. We're after healing. We're after a confession.
Or even, let's just say, you do just need to be heard, right? I think preempting the conversation and say, hey.
But that's still confession, though.
Right.
When you say, hey, I just want you to know, I might be feeling wrong about this.
Exactly.
But just hear me out.
Right. But I do think like a preface helps your conversation.
Yeah. And then secondly, if we're talking in the context of confession for healing, the scripture says, call the elders of the church and confess.
Yeah.
Right? Because let's be honest. There are times, I still do this myself. There are times where I just want to be heard, so I'll call someone who can do nothing for me.
Yeah.
And I'll just vent.
Who knows nothing about this.
Right. And then there are times when I want to be healed, and I'll call Pastor Perry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, listen, I need you to correct me.
Yeah.
I need you to walk through this with me. And I know I'm not going to like what you have to say, but I know I need what you have to say. And I'm very aware, in Espanol se dice mañoso, right? Like, you're crafty in who you call. And you call certain people because they'll just take the vomit.
Yeah.
They'll just take the dump.
agree.
You know what I mean? Like, they'll just like, oh man, that's crazy. Wow.
Oh man,
Dang.
I'm so sorry, girl.
Crazy.
Oh man.
Dang.
Why'd it have to be a girl voice?
That's wild. Because y'all know how y'all are. Y'all know how you are. Like guys are just, let's go work out.
No, but it's the same thing. We do that. I've done that, and we're all trying to get better at it.
Right. I think that's a great part of your dashboard, right? Emotionally and cognitively, your dashboard is, who am I calling to talk to this about, right? So not only should I be saying this, should I be saying this to them? Mm-hmm. Right? And if I'm saying this to them, what am I expecting to come from this?
Yeah.
I think that's major. Wow. Because when you see it in the context of the scriptures, right, especially in the New Testament, whenever people have those types of interactions, it's one of two things. It's either for repentance. So I know I blew it. I made a mistake. I need to be corrected. I'm repenting. I'm confessing, and now I'm being healed. Or it's for edification. It's for the building up of the people. Right. And man, I just saw a line about 45 minutes ago, and it says, man, don't just show them the woe, show them the win. Mm-hmm. Don't just talk about the woes. Don't just talk about the wounds. Talk about the win. Like there's a place where Paul, quote unquote, does a little trauma dumping. And he says, it's 2 Corinthians 1. It's one of my favorite scriptures in the New Testament. 2 Corinthians 1:9, Paul says, I think you should know the things that I've suffered. Mm-hmm. Then he walks down the line. Man, I've been shipwrecked once because of a natural storm, 2 times because of my pride and my arrogance, 1 time because of my disobedience. I've been abandoned. I've been stoned. I've been beaten, left for dead. But then he says, but in all of this, the Lord rescued me. Right. And I learned to not trust in man, but trust in the Lord. And the same one who rescued me then is rescuing me today and will continue to rescue me. Right? And he does it for the edification of the saints. Yeah,
that's intentional vulnerability. That's intentional.
Right. Yeah, there's a goal in mind.
Yeah. Well, that's testimony. That's not dumping. That's not venting. That's testimony.
Yeah. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
I think motives
matter.
That's a big deal. The motivation of your heart. Wow. What's Eminem?
Motives matter.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like Marshall Mathers.
Yeah.
People won't get that, huh, Andrew? Dang it. That's a good conversation.
Did we answer the question?
Yeah. Did we get there? We got there? Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, well, welcome back to Texas. You were in California for a week.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the room. We're grateful for you guys. Welcome back to the pod. Thanks for rocking with us. We say this every single time we record. We are so grateful that we get a chance to connect with what? You're so funny. No, for real, we're so grateful that we get a chance to connect with you guys, to be a part of your world, whether it's in your ears, on your screen, however you interact with this, man. Thank you so much. There's so many of you. Literally, like Apple Podcast says, there's thousands of people listening to us, man. So it's pretty wild.
You need to share these stats with me, bro. I still think there's like 150 people listening to us.
I'll talk to Elon. I'll talk to Elon. At the beginning of the year, our streams were something like 11 or 12,000 streams in like the first 2 months. It was crazy. It was pretty dope on Apple Pod.
Wow.
Respectfully, that's just a little humble brag,
Yeah.
Hey, to the glory of God.
To the glory of God. Just here to serve.
For the glory of God. For the glory of God, you know?
Yeah, shout out to everybody that listens, yo.
To everyone who listens to us from outside the 915, thanks for rocking with the culture. We're so excited that we get to be in your world. Hey, we love you guys. Until next time, peace.